Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. You know, recordings of Strauss's Alpine Symphony ought to be an event. I mean, some people dismiss the work entirely because it's very cinematic. You know, it's a day in the life of an Alp, basically, and it's not going to plumb the depths, let's put it that way, of emotional sublimity or anything like that. It's just there to be big and colorful and exciting, and that's how you got to play it. That's what you need to do. It has to be big and colorful and exciting. Well, this new recording by Nicholas Collon and the Finnish Radio Symphony Orchestra is not big and colorful and exciting. Well, it's colorful, but it's dietetic. It really is. The orchestra, the Finnish Radio Symphony, is a very, very fine orchestra, but they do not have the amplitude to fill up the page after page of rich, yummy, huge orchestral, magnificence, which is the Alpine Symphony. I mean, the brass section just doesn't have the chops for the piece. The strings need to be more fulsome. The opening sunrise, let's just think about the opening sunrise. It's this huge crescendo, and then you've got three magnificent cymbal crashes on two pairs of cymbals. Well, there's just nothing there. The second cymbal crash is like weaker than the first. Things that you notice that aren't so important. The fabulous moment, that wonderful moment on the summit where Strauss sort of quotes Also sprach Zarathustra. You've got this huge brass fanfare going da 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 da, that ignites the recapitulation of the whole thing. Boy, is that weak. I mean, it's really surprisingly so. I'm surprised they didn't redo it, in fact. Give the brass a chance to have another shot at it. It's a slender version sonically. It's not that slender tempo-wise. I mean, he times out at 50 minutes. So it takes its time. And that's also a problem, because if you're not going to have hugeness like Collon gave us, or, Casimir's chord, I think is the one. Casimir's chord is on a chord. CD Accord is amazing. Schulte, Previn on Telarc with the Vienna fill. There are these amazing recordings that really give the music all the bang for your buck it needs. My favorite still is, I think, Schulte with Bavarian Radio, or one of them, because it's just an incredibly exciting performance. It's faster than this, and thrillingly played by the brass section. You've got to have that in this work. You just do. I mean, there are moments of great transparency, which I admire. The Alpine Ferry thing or whatever. There's the waterfall and all that's very, very beautifully done. It really is. And the storm actually is amazingly clear. You hear a lot of the inner detail. I mean, do you really want the inner detail in the storm? Do you really want to hear the organ part with an organ that just doesn't sound particularly powerful, but you can hear it? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I wish it were better, but it just isn't. It's not really a competitive Alpine Symphony. And the four songs with Louise, Alder, soprano, 4 songs, Opus 27, are gorgeous. Beautifully done, sensitively accompanied. They're wonderful songs. I mean, the Opus 27's got Morgan and Cecilia, however you pronounce that thing, and Rua Meine Seele, which is wonderful. There are 4 absolutely great Strauss songs, and she sings them with excellent diction, beautiful attention to pitch, some really nice setting, handling of the text. I mean, she understands what she's singing about. It's so good. It really got me hyped up and ready for the Alpine Symphony. So it was all the more disappointing that it wasn't a fabulous Alpine Symphony. I mean, Ondine's engineering is quite good. I think it's very natural and sounds probably like what the performance sounded like, which is a somewhat tepid Alpine Symphony, preceded by 4 absolutely beautiful, very, very nicely sung Strauss songs. So there you have it. I wish it were. I wish it were better. I mean, these days now, we have so many recordings of everything. It just doesn't make sense to do blockbuster repertoire like this unless you've got blockbuster musicians and a blockbuster conductor and blockbuster engineering to bust your block. So unfortunately, the ultimate verdict on this rather dietetic, calorie-conscious Alpine Symphony is no fondue for you. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.